Hi everyone, my name's Kimmy from the Bear Seed Library, and today we're going to be making our Let It Snow shadow box. It's kind of a bummer that we're back online, but at least we get to do crafts together, so that's okay. So I'm going to let you know what you should have had in your kit. So in your kits, you should have gotten this wooden box that also has a glass in it that kind of slides in here. You should have also had this nice pretty blue piece of paper. You also had this blank piece of paper that I scribbled a background template on it, and you'll see why. You'll have two little containers. One is paint, and I labeled them for you. One is glue. You should have 3 little trees. You should also have these little letterings saying "Let It Snow." Just be very gentle with them, just because they are a little bit thin in some places, but they're not too bad as long as you're not ripping them and like tugging on them. You should be fine. I also put a little note in there just to say, just be fragile. They're fragile, just be gentle. A paintbrush and some white fluffy cotton stuff for the snow. Okay, so that's what you should have gotten in your kits. Some other materials that you will need is scissors and a hot glue gun and some water and some cleanup stuff for the paint. So your first step is going to be deciding if you want to paint your shadow box or not. So I did give you some white paint, or if you have other color paint, it's up to you. You can paint your shadow box. If you want to leave it this natural wood, that's fine. But I would start painting the outside first and see if you have enough to paint the inside. I'm trying to give you a good amount, so paint the outside and then decide if you want to paint the inside, or you don't have to paint it at all. I'm not going to be painting mine because I need this for somebody else to use. So, but I'm just letting you know the steps. So paint this and let it completely dry before you go on to the next step. Okay, so our next step is to add the template to the back of your shadow box. So you will need this little handy dandy paper that says background template, and this I cut out to fit just about perfectly in there and tried my best. So if you don't like it, you can try to figure out the size. It's a 5x7 frame. So I did that for you guys, and that's where you kind of decide what you want for your scene. So I gave you this pretty blue paper. It has some trees in the background. You can either decide if you just want the falling snow and you don't really like the trees that much. This is the one I cut out that had the trees a little bit. So you can either cut out a template. I wouldn't like smack it down right in the middle. Maybe use the corners. It's a little bit easier and less for you to cut. So I would trace that and cut that out with your scissors. Or if you want the trees, you can kind of figure out where you want the trees. If you like this corner piece, or there you can kind of figure out which trees you like. So you can put it in the corner and then cut, and then you'll get something similar to this. And then this, you can just put a little bit of glue on the back of it with your paintbrush, and then you can just glue it right in there. You can use a little bit of hot glue too if you prefer that way for more, I guess it's a more permanent option there, so you can do that. This will look like if you had the trees, and then once you have a little bit of snow in there, it will kind of cover the trees up. So if you want to cut a little piece, if you want to cut a tiny bit of this away, and that will help you have your trees sit a little bit higher, and then that snow will cover that gap down there. You can do that if you want your trees to sit a little bit higher. But if you found that kind of confusing, I would not recommend it. I try to explain it the best I can. So if you want the trees to sit higher, maybe cut a tiny little strip off, completely off the top, so sit a little bit higher in your shadow box, and then that empty space on the bottom you can cover with the fluffy cotton snow. Okay, so this will be our last kind of step, is designing your box how you want it. So once you have that paper glued down, you're gonna kind of decide on what you want to do here. So you have all these little things, the little trees, the little fluffy cotton for the snow, and you have these little lettering that says "Let It Snow." So first you need to decide if you want this glass piece in on your box, or if you would like to do it without. You can do either way. If you do it without, you can kind of give that kind of 3D kind of effect where it's kind of popping out a little bit, or if you want the glass, it will kind of contain everything into this box. So that's really up to you. I'm first going to talk about the trees. There are some smaller trees like these that might fit in there nicely, but if you got a little bit of a bigger tree, this one's just a tiny bit bigger. If you put it in there, that glass might bump it. So if you put that glass in there, it might not fit. See, it's taking the tree with me. So that's where you can either leave your shadow box open, or you could take the tree and cut the back side of it off so it's laying flat on the shadow box, and it gets rid of that poofiness of the tree, so you can lay it flat on there so it'll fit. So how I did that is I took the tree and I just cut the back. So I did it over a trash can because these are little like pine needles, kind of like a real tree. And I just cut it off. Just like that, just cut it off. And that gave me this nice flat effect, which I kind of like because it, like I said, it sits nicely and flat onto the shadow box background. So if you have a bigger tree, I would recommend doing that, or you could try to see if you can fit it in there. But I just wanted to let you know that option of cutting the back of the tree off, which I found to be very helpful. So first, you don't want to glue anything down. Let's just play around with the shadow box and see what you like and everything. So you can take your white fuzz, you can fluff it up a little bit, you can stretch it. If you don't want to use all of it, you can fold it in half and make a double, like make it like really fluffy. It's up to you. So I'm just gonna put this in here, and then I wouldn't, like I said, don't glue anything down until you kind of see what you like. So you could decide if you want some places to be higher with the fluff or some lower. Try to make it lower, and by stretching it out and then putting the trees in the lower places. Like I said, it's up to you. And then next, we can look at the trees and where we want to put them. So I want to kind of leave an open space right in the middle because I want my lettering, the Let It Snow, to be there. So you don't have to use all the trees if you only like 1 or 2 or whatever. That's up to you. So I'm kind of just going to place these. And like I said, I'm kind of just seeing how I would like it. And then let's look at the lettering. So I kind of want the lettering like right in the middle. Don't be afraid to like offset it a little bit. If you want the Let It Snow to be in the left. And so I like this outline that I have going on. So that's when you can start securing things. Maybe the snow first and then the trees, and then you can kind of fit the Let It Snow. But it's up to you what you feel comfortable and think is the right steps. So to put the white cotton on, I would recommend a hot glue gun, and same with the trees. Use some hot glue on the bottom of the base of the trees. For the lettering, I did give you some glue, which you could have used on the background to glue the background down as well. So make sure you have enough, and you just take the glue and just gently put it on there. And just like I said, just be very gentle, take your time with it, and just gently add some glue to the back. And then once you do that, you can take it, your hands will get messy because it's glue, and just place it where you want it and push it down, and then repeat that step with the rest of them. I did give you this little black circle thing. You're probably like, what the heck is this for? The dot was really small on the eye and probably would have just gotten lost. So if you want a little dot for the eye, I gave you a little piece of black to make that dot. Okay. So that's it. After you secured everything, you have your shadow box, and then you, like I said, you can decide if you want the glass in there or if you don't want that. If you feel comfortable using a hot glue gun, you can see that there's some little snowflake balls down there. You can kind of do like a 3D type of snowflake if you add a little bit of glue into a dot form and then paint it white. You can make kind of some 3D little snowballs flying down from the sky. So maybe practice a couple times on like a piece of paper, and then you could attempt doing that as well. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed. If you need any materials or you need any help, please contact me. You can always come in too, and I can always help you. But thank you for watching, and thank you for participating, and I hope you guys have a happy new year. Bye bye.